You got a minute to go.
8.5 minutes later, Ohio State tied the game on Dan Cousineau's goal. But Michigan's Sean Richland put the Wolverines back in the lead at 14:30, and he also had a little bit of help from the pipes.
Yeah, I had a couple posts there. I had a lucky horseshoe hidden, so it came in handy tonight.
This was as pressure-packed a game as you played in probably in your short career here at Michigan. You got to be pleased with the way things turned out for you.
Yeah, I am. I mean, the guys responded really well. We played good defense. I mean, we had a lot of shots in the third period, but I mean, it was kind of a weird deal. I mean, the end of the period was just really crazy. People flying all over the place with the extra guy in the ice, so it was kind of hard to see, and I was just kind of scooting around on the ice with my paddle down, trying to hope it hit me.
Blackburn finished with 32 saves to preserve the Maize and Blue 3-2 victory, setting up the CCHA championship battle with Northern Michigan, the team that upset the regular season champion Michigan State Spartans.
Ohio State threw everything they had at us in the third period, and we were on our heels most of the period, but we were a little lucky. I thought Josh Blackburn came up huge, and our players like Bobby Hayes and Roemensky and Matzka and our defense Bubba Berensweg, and they did a great job just surviving the period, because I don't know if Ohio State could play any better than they did in the third.
Mark Kosick came up with a couple of huge goals for you tonight.
Big goals. When you're down in a game, if you get down by 2, it could be the end. And he scored 2 goals to get us back in the game. One at different times, obviously, and then won the face-off for the winning goal. So he had a touch tonight, and it was good to see. We needed that.
If we know the game's do or die, it seems like just this year and last year, we all have the same type feeling on the bench. Must be something about the do or die games in the playoffs. Everybody's just really coming together really, really well, and everybody would just go out there and lay their bodies on the line and pretty much die for anyone on the team out there. And I think that's what it is. Everybody just has that extra feeling out there in playoff time, knowing if we lose, our season's over for sure. So I think it just brings out the best in us.
The Wolverines entered Saturday's CCHA championship game with Northern Michigan, winners of 4 in a row and looking to make it 5. Northern put early pressure on the Maize and Blue, but Josh Blackburn turned the Wildcats away time and time again. Midway through the first period, Port Huron native Scott Matzka got behind the Wildcats' defense, took a long feed from Mike Van Ryn, and then the sophomore buried the biscuit to give Michigan the 1-0 lead at the 11:59 mark of the period. Then 2 minutes 12 seconds later, it was senior Dale Roemensky. He went hard to the net, taking a Mike Van Ryn feed, and the Wolverines had a 2-0 advantage heading into the first intermission. In the second period, Northern got on the board at the 3:16 mark on a fluke goal. JPVJ's centering pass caromed off Mike Van Ryn's skate and into the Michigan net, and it was a 2-1 game. But the Wolverines responded with a fluke goal of their own 2.5 minutes later. Sophomore defenseman Dave Huntzicker slap shot from center ice fooled Northern goaltender Dan Ragasset, and the Michigan lead was 3-1. Red Berenson's team then picked up a couple of insurance goals later in the second period, senior Greg Crozier scoring his 6th of the season at 8:16, and the player of the weekend, Mark Kosick, picked up his 3rd goal of the tournament and 5th point of the CCHA championships to give Michigan a 5-1 victory over Northern and their 4th CCHA playoff title.
What a difference a few weeks make, but our kids really played hard this weekend. We got the breaks that we needed. We checked well. We got good goalkeeping. Everybody stuck together. They believed in each other. And this is an important championship to win.
Kosick, a sophomore from Victoria, British Columbia, was named the tournament MVP and was joined on the all-tournament team by goalie Josh Blackburn, defenseman Mike Van Ryn, and right winger Sean Richland. The victory was a season-best 5th in a row for Michigan and sends the defending national champs back to the NCAA tournament for the 9th straight year.
This is a real honor to win this one. We didn't win it last year. We lost in the semifinals, and it was a tremendous honor to win this trophy this year. And but we're still looking forward to bigger things ahead of us in the next couple of weeks.
I can't believe that I've had the opportunity to win this tournament 3 times with the talent that's in this league, and this is an extra special one for me because we had a little bit of a skid and we got things going. So hopefully this carries on into the next round.
You guys have to be feeling real confident right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I still think that our team can play better, but I'm still pretty confident in the fact knowing that we did win pretty convincingly tonight and we can still play better. So I'm real confident.
Wolverines didn't have to wait long to find out who and where they would begin their NCAA title defense. The team gathered at Yost Arena early Sunday afternoon to watch the NCAA selection show. The second-place regular season finish and a CCHA playoff trophy in hand, Wolverines assumed they'd be heading to the West Regional in Madison, Wisconsin.
In Worcester, it'll be Denver against Michigan. So Denver, even though they had a higher RPI...
Everyone's surprised the defending national champs are being sent east. The Wolverines beat the Pioneers. They face New Hampshire, the top-seeded team in the East Regional, so it certainly will not be an easy road back to the Final Four.
From what I hear, they're a pretty good team, but we can't be worried about them. We've got to be worried about ourselves, and I think we have to be prepared and ready to play.
It really doesn't matter who you play, where you play them at. The nets are the same size, and we're excited about playing, and we're going to go out there and probably try and play the same game plan as we do here at Yost, and see what happens.
Michigan plays Denver on Friday in Worcester, Massachusetts. This year's college hockey Final Four will be held at the Pond in Anaheim, California. Our Ken Landau had a chance to sit down and talk with Wolverine head coach Red Berenson. That's next when Wolverine Magazine returns on Fox Sports Detroit.
Benny.
There are 9 of those national championship banners hanging from the rafters at Yost Arena. Certainly room for another one, and the quest for that 10th national championship begins this week. We're joined by the head coach of the hockey program, Red Berenson. Red, congratulations, CCHA playoff champions, an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament, but you're heading east, somewhat of a surprise as the number 5 seed to take on Denver.
Well, a lot happened this weekend, Ken. First of all, winning against Ohio State was huge for our chances to get in the final game, obviously, and I think we were a bubble team going into that game, and for us to hang on to that win was huge. Now, we got into the game against Northern, and we found a way to win that game and to win our 4th CCHA playoff championship since I've been here, and that's how elusive they are, and that's 4 in 15 years. And so now we are in the NCAAs, and it's a whole new picture, and we are traveling east. So a lot has happened in the last 2 days.
Traveling east to Worcester to take on the University of Denver, a team just like the Wolverines that won its playoff championship, so they come into the NCAAs on a roll, on a high, playing probably as well as they've played all year, just like your team.
They're the hottest team in college hockey right now, and certainly since Christmas, and I can't tell you that we've been the hottest team in college hockey, but of late, the last 3 weeks, Ken, I think we're playing the best hockey of our season. We have more players playing well. We have more team confidence. We're playing more like a team, and that's what we're going to need to compete against a strong Denver team.
Certainly it's really early to start thinking about Denver, but what do you know about the Pioneers other than the fact that Mike Comrie's older brother Paul plays for George Kwazdecki's team?
Well, we know that they had a tough season last year, and they were expected to finish 8th in the league, and they finished, I believe, 4th or 3rd in the league this year. Right behind Colorado and North Dakota. Then they came on strong and won, obviously, in the playoffs. They beat Colorado in a 2-game series. They beat North Dakota in the final game. They're very excited about the way they're playing. It should be a great matchup.
Let's talk about going into this tournament. Your team's the defending national champions, but you come in probably with not as much expectation as a defending national champion might normally have because you're seated lower, you're playing out east. Does that reduce perhaps some of the pressure that'll be on your team?
I think so, Ken. I think we're coming in more. I like the role we're coming in. We're more of an underdog, and that's the way we like to be. And even last year, if you remember, we were definitely the underdog playing against North Dakota, New Hampshire, and Boston College. And I think our team plays that role well. And we're a bunch of workers on this team and grinders, and we're scoring goals now when we get our chances. I like our goalkeeping, but we don't have the player of the year, the coach of the year, the defenseman of the year, the leading scorer, the all-stars. We don't have any of that on our team. We have the rookie of the year, and we have 3 good freshmen. But outside of that, we're a team that really is trying to prove something all over again.
Perhaps the one thing that you do have on your team is the fact that you've got a lot of guys who are tournament savvy. You've got a group of seniors that have won 2 national championships. Your sophomore and junior classes have all gotten national championship experience under their belts as well. That's an invaluable ingredient when it comes to playing here in late March?
Well, this team knows what it takes to win, and I think that's what you're getting at, Ken. And not that it's something you can draw on in terms of X's and O's, but it's a mental confidence thing. It's an expectation. It's something when you look around the room, you know, do you have confidence in that this team can get it done and you're part of it? Certainly, I know I do as a coach, and I think our players do. Even though we may not be as good as the other teams, we think that we can compete well with them, and obviously there's no tomorrow at this point.
If there's an X factor on your team, it might be the fact that you've got a freshman goaltender, freshman in title in Josh Blackburn. He's no longer a freshman. He has a full season under his belt. There's going to be a lot of attention paid on the fact that this is his first NCAA.
Well, Josh, you know, Josh takes it one weekend at a time, and you know, he said after the game against Northern Michigan, he said, "This is the first tournament I think I've ever won at anything," and so it's not like he's tournament tough. But I'll tell you what, I'll take this kid in goal against anybody on a given night. He can play, he can make a difference, he can make a big save, and he can cover up for a lot of mistakes. And he's you talk to our defensemen, and they'll say the same thing. They've got a lot of confidence in Josh Blackburn. And the kid's got to have a lot of confidence in himself for what he's proven already.
Red, at this time of the year, is it more important to concern yourself about what your team has to do to play its game rather than concern yourself about your opponent?
Well, I think it is. You really have to play your game. You can't be tweaking your game depending on what the other team does. You have to understand what they do, respect what they do, and I think it's invaluable to know your opponent. But it's even more important to know your own team and what you have to do to play well. If we play well, then a lot of things will take care of themselves. If we don't, then it won't matter. We have to play well.
9 straight years going to the NCAA tournament. No one has that type of record in this year's tournament in terms of consecutive years in. What's it like as a coach? I mean, certainly for the players, it's very exciting. Is this getting old at all for the coach?
No, it really isn't. When it gets old, I won't be coaching, Ken. It's exciting for me, and I'll tell you why. I'm excited for the players and for the hard work that they put in, and I'm excited for the players that played here before that in a lot of cases never made it to the NCAAs, but they contributed to the building this program to where it is now. And I think it goes to show you that if you're doing the right thing year in and year out, then good things will happen. And even like this year, when we were losing, we were playing hard and we were playing well, but it just wasn't happening for us. And now things are falling into place. A lot of the same things that we were doing then are helping us now, but it's a good feeling, and it's good. I want our program to be recognized as a team that contends nationally, and you're not going to win it every year. Obviously, it's a very elusive championship.